In August 2008, a group of climbers attempted to summit K2, the second highest mountain in the world, but faced treacherous conditions and unexpected challenges. Despite their experience and preparation, the climbers encountered a series of setbacks, including avalanches, extreme weather, and communication failures. As the situation grew more dire, rescue efforts were hindered by the mountain's unforgiving terrain and the climbers' dwindling supplies. Viewer discretion is advised. The K2 disaster of 2008 stands as one of the deadliest and most heart-wrenching tragedies in the history of mountaineering. Known for its unforgiving terrain and extreme dangers, K2, the world's second highest peak at 8,611 meters, 28,251 feet, has earned the nickname the Savage Mountain. The events that unfolded in August 2008 were a harrowing testament to the perils of high-altitude climbing and the fragility of human life in the face of nature's extremes. In early August 2008, a total of 25 climbers from multiple international teams converged to attempt a summit of K2 via the Abruzzi Spur, the mountain's most popular route. This approach features steep slopes, exposed ridges, and the infamous bottleneck, a narrow and deadly section just below the summit, overshadowed by a massive, unstable ice serac, a hanging glacier. The climbers' preparations were fraught with challenges. Fixing ropes on the bottleneck proved difficult and time-consuming, leading to delays in the ascent schedule. Additionally, the sheer number of climbers attempting to summit on the same day created congestion, further slowing progress and complicating coordination. Despite these early warnings, the teams decided to proceed with their summit attempts. The summit day, August 1st, 2008. On August 1st, 2008, 18 climbers succeeded in reaching the summit of K2. However, many reached the top too late in the day, some as late as 7 p.m., leaving them with little daylight for the descent. The combination of exhaustion, altitude sickness, and deteriorating weather set the stage for disaster. As the climbers began descending the bottleneck, tragedy struck. A massive chunk of ice from the serac above the bottleneck collapsed, destroying the fixed ropes that climbers had relied on to navigate the treacherous route. This left many stranded in one of the most dangerous sections of the mountain, with no clear path down. The destruction of the ropes created chaos. Climbers were forced to descend unroped on steep and icy terrain, a task that was nearly impossible for those already weakened by fatigue and oxygen deprivation. Darkness fell, further complicating the descent and increasing the risk of accidents. One by one, climbers succumbed to the mountain's unforgiving conditions. Among the most notable stories of heroism and tragedy were the following. Gerard MacDonald, Ireland. MacDonald reached the summit and was descending when the serac collapse occurred. According to reports, he stayed behind to assist stranded climbers, showing remarkable bravery. Tragically, he was later swept away by falling ice. Hugues d'Aubaret, France. Exhausted and unable to navigate the icy descent, d'Aubaret perished in the death zone. Multiple South Korean climbers, a group of South Korean climbers and their Sherpas, became trapped near the bottleneck. Despite attempts to rescue them, they were unable to descend and ultimately lost their lives. Wilco van Rooyen, Netherlands. Van Rooyen became separated from his team and spent over 2 nights exposed to the elements. Miraculously, he survived but suffered severe frostbite. Marco Confortola, Italy. Confortola also survived but endured serious frostbite and injuries. His account of the events provided critical insight into the disaster. Efforts to rescue stranded climbers were hampered by the extreme altitude, harsh weather, and the destruction of the fixed ropes. Climbers at lower camps attempted to ascend and assist, but their efforts were largely in vain. Helicopter rescues, which are rare at such extreme altitudes, were not feasible due to the location and weather conditions. By the time the ordeal ended, 11 climbers had lost their lives. The victims included climbers from South Korea, Norway, the Netherlands, Serbia, Ireland, and France. The disaster became one of the deadliest incidents in the history of K2, second only to the tragic year of 1986, when 13 climbers perished in various accidents over the course of a single climbing season. Several factors contributed to the high death toll during the 2008 K2 disaster. Late summit attempts. Many climbers summited too late in the day, leaving insufficient time to descend safely before nightfall. Reliance on fixed ropes. The destruction of the fixed ropes by the ice collapse left climbers stranded in one of the most perilous sections of the mountain. Overcrowding. The large number of climbers attempting to summit on the same day created bottlenecks and delays, increasing exposure to danger. Unpredictable conditions. The instability of the Serac and the sudden ice collapse were beyond anyone's control, highlighting the inherent risks of high-altitude climbing. Limited coordination. The multinational nature of the climbing teams, combined with language barriers and varying levels of experience, led to communication breakdowns and inconsistent decision-making. The 2008 K2 disaster raised critical questions about the ethics and practices of high-altitude mountaineering. It highlighted the need for better planning, communication, and risk assessment, particularly on treacherous peaks like K2. The tragedy also underscored the importance of teamwork and the ethical dilemmas faced by climbers in life-and-death situations. While the events of that fateful day revealed the perilous nature of climbing K2, they also showcased acts of extraordinary courage and humanity. Climbers, like Gerard McDonnell, who sacrificed their lives trying to help others, remain a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. The K2 disaster of 2008 serves as a sobering reminder of the thin line between triumph and tragedy in the world of high-altitude mountaineering.